My friends, the great experiment.
Prodigy.
Prodigy. Hidden. Trick.
Would you look at that?
The greatest trick.
And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
The greatest trick.
Welcome to Greatest Trek. It's a new Star Trek podcast from the makers of The Greatest Generation. I'm Adam Pranica.
I'm Ben Harrison. I'm in trouble all the time now because I'm drinking too much, Adam. Too much bubble water?
I'm glad someone's finally sat you down. I'm surprised it wasn't me, but someone in your life sat you down and said, you've been drinking too much.
Yeah. My wife was going to the Trader Joe's, and she said, can I get you anything? And I said, like a pack of seltzer waters. And she's like, no, you're drinking like 2 or 3 of those every day. I can't, you can't do that. Is this a real thing?
You know what? That's easy for her to say. She goes to an office that probably has seltzer waters, like in the little break room fridge.
I don't know. No,
She'd never think to bring any of those home to you, huh?
She works in city government. They don't have anything free at the office. Yeah, it was not a cost issue because, we're talking about like $4 or $5 for a 12-pack of bubble waters usually.
Depending on the brand?
Yeah, but she doesn't like the volume that I consume them at. She thinks it's unhealthy. There's nothing in it. It's just water and bubs.
Is this a new segment, What's Wrong with Ben's Wife?
What's not even wrong with Ben?
And how did you respond to this kind of call-out?
I think my response was basically like, I have so little. There's so little left for me.
Why would she even cut you off from that then?
Yeah. Can I have this one vice? You offered to pick something up for me. That's not like... I'm not going to ask for kale. Come on. I want something that I enjoy.
Yeah. I think probably the littler I say, the better.
Yeah.
On a subject like this.
Maybe I shouldn't have brought it up because this is a podcast and technically we should be having a conversation.
You should have a secret stash. That's what I would recommend. Maybe it's okay in this case to have a secret from your wife, Ben.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yes, but, whenever you, learn about addiction, that's, one of the things, right? Is like, oh, yeah, that guy had, a handle of vodka in the cistern of his toilet so that his roommate didn't know where it was coming from or whatever.
This addiction doesn't hurt anyone.
I know. This feels like such a wholesome addiction.
You've told me before you take yourself out to lunch all the time. You get a fast food chicken burger and you hide the trash in the bottom of the garbage. This is that.
Sure.
Here's what I'm suggesting, Ben. You just add another lie to that first lie.
Yeah.
You've already done it.
2 does not constitute web. I think you'd need at least 3 lies for it to become a web.
And even if you did have a third lie, who gives a shit? Because it's not hurting anyone, and it's making our pal Ben Harrison happy.
I like a bubble water.
And as Ben Harrison himself has said moments ago, he has so little.
You got a bubble water there, right?
I do, yeah. If I wanted to drink 3, I would. My problem is I don't want to drink 3 bubble waters.
Really?
I want to drink 3 different things.
I want my blood to be carbonated. I love it.
Yeah, that's not me.
Variety is the spice of Adam Pranica's life.
Burbles don't quench my thirst. Because I can't drink it fast enough because of the burbles.
Yeah, because of the burbles. On account of the burbles.
Back when I was in high school, there was kind of like a Pepsi versus Coke version of sports drinks.
Yes.
And it went like Gatorade versus All Sport.
Yeah.
And All Sport was the thirst quencher with burbles.
I remember trying that and thinking, this is not what I want when I'm a lot of people don't know that I was a pretty serious ice hockey player in my youth.
For all the times you bring it up, people still don't know that. They need to know.
Yeah, I need to remind people from time to time. Yeah.
You know where you could keep your special stash of burbly water? In your hockey bag.
My hockey bag. But I don't have a hockey bag anymore. And not exactly appetizing rummaging through a hockey bag. one of the funkiest smells known to man is hockey bag.
If you're trying to quit, maybe that's where you keep your stash.
Oh man, it's like an aversion therapy situation.
Yeah, it's like Schick Shadel. You go and you consume the thing that makes alcohol nauseating, and then you never consume alcohol again. Was that just a Seattle thing? Are you familiar with Schick Shadel?
I don't know the specific. I feel like
When I was growing up, there was an older gentleman, a famous Seattleite, who would come on to the local television and do his 30-second ad for Schick Shadel. And he admitted to being a terrific alcoholic, and he went to Schick Shadel once, and it changed his life. But he didn't go into specifics at all. He would make you, the viewer, look into what the hell Schick Shadel is. And allegedly, it's a place where you consume a thing that makes alcohol intolerable to your body afterwards.
Yeah, I've heard about this substance that makes alcohol intolerable. I didn't know that. Is Schick Shadel it's a clinic that administers this substance?
It's a name. Yeah. It's like Betty Ford or whatever. Like name.
Schick Shadel.
Yeah.
Founded by the heiress to the razor blade fortune.
Maybe. Can't rule it out.
Shadel.
What do you think, Ben? You gonna have secret bubbly water? I think I speak for myself, and I speak for every FOD who cares about your happiness. Gotta have that secret stash, man.
I gotta have those bubs. Problem is, secret stash is I need a cold place to keep secret stash because I want it so cold, you know.
Last time I was over in your backyard, there was a cooler.
Yeah, I do have a cooler.
Could you maybe keep a cooler in there and then replenish it with ice from time to time? Like, hey, I'm just gonna go out to the studio, and then you have like 2 giant cups of ice. for my still water.
Yes.
Out of the tap.
This is for the fish tank. You don't need to ask any further questions.
I'm actually going to go fill these up from the hose. Hose water is my brand now.
Yeah. Got hose and different area codes.
There's such an interest in monetizing nostalgia. Do you think there's ever been a meeting at big beverage company that went like, you know what millennials miss? You know what Gen Xers crave but haven't had for so long? Water that tastes like hose.
Yeah.
So here's what we do. We fill up aluminum cans with hose water.
Yeah.
And we call it hose water. And then we sell it to them.
Ode to hose.
Do you think people would buy it?
I am picturing a novelty bottle that has a little section of hose at the top with the brass fittings. Because I think part of it is the experience of, because you don't want to put your mouth on the hose, but inevitably you get a little contact at the end of the hose, you know?
I really like that. And maybe what's more is to take the cap off of the end of the hose. It's like the fitting on a hose when you plug it into the bib.
Yeah.
And how it's always too tight. And and it's wet.
Yeah.
And so it's very hard to twist open. That can be a part of the experience.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like pressurized, so it's like extra hard because, you know, you don't realize how much water pressure is going to affect the way 2 brass pieces, threadings interact with each other.
Maybe when you open up a bottle of hose, it begins by spraying out sideways from the cap, because that always happens.
Yeah. And then, like, I mean, eventually it's going to be so popular, like, you're going to show up at a party and you're going to be like, hey, has this party got hose? What the fuck? You can't have a party without hose.
You just wrote ad copy, Ben. It's right there.
Come on, Coke or Pepsi. Come buy this idea from us.
I bet it's on a whiteboard somewhere at corporate.
Yeah.
This is not an original idea.
I think it's pretty solid. I think you might have something here.
All right. Hose. The water. I love it.
Do you want to talk about something a little bit more savory than hose, Adam?
Oh, yeah. Something that resonates from your childhood, Ben.
Sure.
A reference to hit musical group Tribe Called Quest.
Indeed.
Which is where they get the title from today's episode. It's Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Episode 13, a tribble called Quest.
You know the greatest danger facing us is an irrational fear of the unknown.
On my mark, go fast.
You get a title like this because you got cool people running the show.
You got cool people running the show. I wanted there to be a character named Jerobi or something, you know. Like I wanted like one more reference.
I wanted like there to be such a pile of tribbles that it was like 8 feet high and rising. You know, like...
Yeah, but that's Daylaw, so it's like... So I mean,
oh, is it?
Yeah, we'd be covering other bases in the backpack wrap.
I just told on myself with that. Like, that's how you always get these references right, and I frequently get them wrong.
Yeah, oh, they could come into orbit and say, this appears to be a highly diggable planet.
There you go. You could just keep going and going. Meanwhile, I fired the only shot I had. It was a fucking Derringer of a joke, and I missed.
Well,
when you're a Star Trek podcaster, you keep the joke Derringer in your ankle holster
yeah.
in case you're desperate.
In case you're falling back onto the floor and you need to John Woo someone.
Yeah.
This episode has a Rok-Tahk, like a sort of a bookended Rok-Tahk's log. And Rok-Tahk is talking about the challenge of making the type of star that they need to make to power the proto-drive in their new old starship.
I couldn't figure out whether this was a log either, or whether it was just merely Rok-Tahk talking to herself. A Rok-Tahk talk?
Yeah, she doesn't say Rok-Tahk's log.
No. Now that's something else.
Yeah.
That's something else for a bathroom that doesn't work on a different ship entirely.
Yeah. That ship got destroyed in so many ways.
Her description of the way stars are formed is related to their need for a special thing that they need to run the protostar drive on their ship. Yeah. It's bosonite.
Bosonite.
Where are they going to get it?
It's a rare, exotic type of matter, but they have found an M-class planet that has kind of a lot of it. And they warp right over there. It happens to be near enough. I mean, because what are they, 3,000 light years from the Voyager?
No one knows how far that is.
Yeah, seems like a lot.
It's far enough to where they need the proto drive to work in order to get to there.
Yeah. So they get to this planet, not diggable. I mean, it's mineable, right?
It's not a diggable planet.
It's not a Pooba of the styles and shit. It's not like 60s funky rhymes running down your block. It don't be to rap what key be to lock.
I want to thank Wynde for cutting out the 15 minutes that followed on that runner. Just keeping it to the tight and best of those references. I thought it was really interesting. Like, once they go out on their Dustbuster Club mission, you get that thing that you get specifically like in the Predator film, right? Like, there's a spiritualist that is like, something isn't right about this. And that's Chakotay here.
He's saying that the vibes are off, but it's like in the terms of nature being out of balance, it does seem like a pretty fucked up place.
Followed right after by Majel to confirm it.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, not only is this place totally ragged, but like the bosonite we need is basically dust here. We need to find like a concentration of it. And Dal on his tricorder has picked up a huge deposit of it past a mountain range.
Yeah, it's not just Jenkin Pog identifying huge deposits on this show.
Yeah.
I thought that this was a nice moment after Dal sort of got broken down in the Flight of the Protostar episode last week. Chakotay was complimenting on his improving technobabble skills, basically.
Yeah, get a load of this guy.
Yeah.
He's getting better at that.
So they start walking, and this is when they encounter this Tribble. This is what made the environment get all out of whack.
Yeah, we get a pretty brief rundown here about Tribbles for the sake of our children viewers who might not be familiar. We see this physically happen to the one that Rok-Tahk has picked up as she describes the ways that they multiply, the rapidity of it, their rate of consumption, and so forth. the thing about the tribbles on this planet are that they are not all small and cute. This is like the store in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
You got the shrunken head, the regular size, and then the tribble that's behind Rok-Tahk is the whoa.
I had a question when the tribble bit Rok-Tahk and it seemed to hurt. Is Rok-Tahk rock or is Rok-Tahk not rock?
Is Rok-Tahk rock while the biting force of a tribble just greater than rock?
Oh. Damn.
Like if you were playing rock, paper, tribble,
Tribble wins every time.
tribble beak
Yeah.
or whatever,
It gets everything.
yeah, that would
Yeah.
beat paper.
And rock.
It would. It actually ruins the game.
Yeah.
Don't ever play that. It's not good.
Yeah, come on. Tribble is OP. Nerf Tribble to make rock, paper, scissors fun again.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like a mama bear tribble that rolls after them, and they're like running away from these tribbles. Dal very heroically saves their transport enhancing crayons from the onrushing giant tribs.
I tried to call Aaron Walke about this scene.
Yeah.
Because I was like, were you / the creators inspired by like Raiders of the Lost Ark because of the giant, tumbling ball and the escape from it and so forth? Couldn't get an answer.
That's so weird because I had like the same thought, and I also called him.
Yeah. Did you get through?
I just got like an outgoing message that says like don't bother.
Oh.
Please stop blowing up my inbox.
Chaos Murph to the rescue, right? Because they reach the end of, like, they reach a cliff.
Yeah.
And there's that moment of truth where, like, do you jump or do you get crushed and eaten by a giant tribble?
Yeah.
I might choose crushed and eaten. It would take a lot for me to jump off a cliff, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Also, I'm looking at Chaos Murph going, do something.
Yeah.
Like, turn yourself into a ramp so the giant tribble...
Just rocket
like,
off the edge?
Yeah.
Wow.
How is that not the idea?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to call Aaron Walke and tell him about this idea.
Yeah, because I like, would Murph be edible to a tribble? You know?
Great question. I feel like Murph would be like eating a balloon to an animal. Like,
Yeah.
the tribble would eventually pass it, but you'd have to pick it out of its butt.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fun to picture. So, yeah, Murph saves the day, but Zero gets rolled over by one of these tribbles, and Dal comes very close to dying because of his going back for the transport crayons. And these tribbles do rocket off the edge of the cliff, right? Like, they become not a problem because they've all just lemminged themselves.
And yet they're of the construction to where that is a survivable
I guess so, yeah.
moment for them.
Yeah.
Due to the fluff, maybe?
Yeah, maybe because they're so fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dal almost died. That was cool. Zero is fine. Like, not great, but, like, didn't get consumed.
I thought it was weird we didn't see... Like, we're with the kids who go over the cliff, and we kind of lose track of Zero, right?
Yeah.
But we don't see the consequence of what truly happened to Zero at the moment. Like, we see Tribbles go off the cliff.
Yeah.
All of them went off the cliff? All of them missed Zero? I had questions.
I think one rolled over Zero.
And that's what hurt them.
I guess. Yeah. So anyways, Zero is ordered back to Six Bay, and I was like, come on, like, rub some fucking dirt on it, Zero. Like, Chakotay, like, pipe down with the Six Bay. Like, Zero will walk it off.
Yeah, Zero's starting to become a little bit of a complainer. Like, they're running away from a life-threatening tribble, and Zero's like, oh, I'm so unused to running this fast. Do you want to live,
Yeah.
Zero? Then shut the fuck up and run.
Like C-3PO talking to, like, comment on something. It's like, shut up.
Oh, the C-3PO-ness of Zero. Great call.
Yeah, right?
I've got to rest before I fall apart. My joints are almost frozen.
Yeah.
Like, missing social cues even though you're the protocol droid or you're the fucking telepath?
Walking around with limbs that don't seem usable in a conventional way. Maybe not danceable even.
Yeah.
Uncoordinated is the word I was looking for a moment ago.
You can speak to us normally.
Okay. No, thank you, sir. So I shall.
It's going to be interesting in like 3 more years when we're so incoherent. We're like that episode of Star Trek The Next Generation where they couldn't sleep.
I'm hoping the time comes when we can just write the episodes between us for like that perfect way of putting things. Because the right word is just beyond my grasp constantly. And my internal thesaurus is shit.
Yeah.
And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
The greatest trek.
So now, all of a sudden, this planet's got a Klingon on it. And this Klingon speaks an unusual dialect of the language that their universal translators don't get at first. But anyways, he wants them to leave the planet.
Yeah, he's pretty emphatic about this, which you would presume being on the business end of a Klingon disruptor.
Yeah.
But we don't get very much time to consider this before we're into the very next scene where this Klingon is leading the group on foot through these canyons.
Yeah, and I guess the translators caught up to what he was saying.
I like not getting the intermediate scene between these two moments. Like, take us to the next thing. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
He shows them to his ship where he has a pretty messy science area set up. And we learn that his name is Dr. Kruvang. And he's been studying these tribbles. We see one of the documents they pick up has like an image of the skeletal structure of tribbles, which is fucking horrific. It's like whoever got to draw this really fucking ate and left no crumbs. Because the idea that it's like got a rodent skull in there, but also ribs, and it's all just arranged in a ball. Like, have you ever seen that? There's like that sculpturist who will take like a Volkswagen Bug and make it into a perfect sphere, but it's all like actual Volkswagen parts. It's kind of that.
That's great inspiration.
Yeah.
I love the return to a bird of prey out of Star Trek 3. Like, it's so familiar.
Yeah.
The colors and the shapes and everything are so right. It's nostalgic in all the great ways. Even though this place has been converted into a lab, it definitely feels like a place that we know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. So yeah, he's been sent by Martok.
Chancellor Martok.
Chancellor Martok needed someone to get to the bottom of how the Klingons can finally vanquish their ancient enemy, the Tribbles. And this guy was testing a serum on Tribbles that was designed to like make them fuck less and eat less. And it had sort of the opposite effect. It turned them into like were-tribbles.
The only experiment I did not run in order to make them fuck less was to marry a tribble.
The theory goes, the tribble will always, for some reason, have a headache.
You know what I like about the depiction of this Klingon scientist is that he's not crazy for being alone the way Wesley presents. He's just kind of a Klingon eccentric.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let me tell you something, Ben. I didn't like how Chakotay had that kind of zippy remark at him, like, oh, I didn't know they had Klingon scientists. I thought y'all were fucking Lennies.
Whoa, 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 Chakotay. Okay.
Yeah. Yikes.
Oh, I didn't know there were rubber tree people who didn't play pan flute. How about that, Chakotay? Do you like that?
Oh, you got banned.
So yeah, Rok has a theory about why this serum supercharged the Tribbles rather than nerfing the Tribbles, and is going to work on a way to fix the serum so that they can cause the overrun of Tribbles that have turned this planet into a wasteland to get, gotten under control.
There's a moment where the problem seems too difficult to solve, and it's a moment for Rok-Tahk to really shine.
Yeah.
Because the doctor's like, I've been here for ages. I'm trying to get my honor back. I don't know if I'll ever do that, given the enormity of this situation and the problem at hand. And Rok-Tahk's like, off the top of her head,
Yeah.
she's like, I actually have this one solved.
Yeah, I got you, my dude.
Yeah.
How does a mere child know this?
I studied a lot.
As the idea comes up that, like, maybe we shouldn't waste our time helping this guy with his stupid fucking honor, we learn that the biggest deposit of bosonite happens to be guarded by the Tribble nest. There's like a Tribble anthill on this planet that's full of bosonite, but it's also full of tribs. And we're talking the big ones, the big mamas that chomp you or slightly enfeeble you the way they did Zero.
Omega Tribble Nest is what it's referred to on the map.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
So it's great, right? We can solve both problems at once. Like, this is where, like, the queen tribbles are. So Rok and Dr. Kruvang are going to work together. But, boy, this lab's so messy. Just such a hot mess.
And dusty.
Yeah.
Hence the allergies that Rok-Tahk seems to display.
Yeah. And it's clear that this is going to hamper their progress somewhat as they work to unfuck the situation that Dr. Kruvang created.
On the Protostar hologram, Janeway gives Zero the bad news. Your leg is injured and will not heal. And Zero knows why. Their body is disintegrating because it was promised to do that when they left that planet where they got the body to begin with.
Yeah.
Ben, my question for you about Zero's body, and I hate to do this, I hate to be so body-focused.
Right. Yeah, like, we're aware that what this looks like isn't great as two white men talking about somebody's body on the internet. Like, that never goes well.
I just have to ask, though.
Yeah.
Is Zero's body a hollow container like a chocolate Easter bunny that's hollow in the middle versus solid? The reason I ask is, like, were you to crack Zero's leg, would the Medusan inside leak out as the gaseous life form that it is? Or is the Medusan just kept behind the eyeballs the way we sometimes see when we look at Zero?
Yeah, I don't know. Like if you were to look into Zero's leg, would you go crazy?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Hard to know.
Maybe that's why hologram Janeway's the only one that gives it a good close up.
Great call, because Jenkin Pog's like in the room.
Yeah.
But just off to the side. And the mood isn't totally sad, though, because of Jenkin Pog. He's like, look, Zero, your body's broken, and it's going to get even more broken as time goes on. But here's the thing. I'm a great engineer. I might even be able to make you a better body.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, they're on the Protostar now. They've got a pretty advanced 3D printer situation.
It'd be great if the 3D printer could only make that car, though. Jacob Pog is like, could I interest you in a late model go-kart? Because that's what we make around here.
Could be worse. Probably not.
Just do not roll down the windows, Zero. Like, for our benefit, keep the windows up.
If this show had come out in like the 80s when we were, sitting in footy pajamas, cross-legged on the floor watching Saturday morning cartoons, like every new iteration of Zero represents new toy that I'm going to want to go out and bother my parents for, right?
You said it.
Like,
yeah.
Is there like an action figure line for this show that is like getting a new edition of Zero for each change?
I'm going to look it up right now.
And when is the Benjar Pranic action figure coming out? Because that's the other big question on a lot of people's minds in the action figure world.
It looks like you can get Star Trek Prodigy action figures.
No kidding.
They're out there.
Wow.
Yeah. How about that?
You can also get a Volkswagen that's a perfect sphere. So
I've got bad news, Ben. The Chaos Smurf is not shaped like a toilet.
What?
It seems like if you bought the Chaos Smurf action figure, Murph should just come in an egg the way Silly Putty used to.
Yeah, make Murph into whatever you want Murph to be.
Yeah.
How does the toy accommodate that one little bit of Murph that's floating off the top of Murph's head? That doesn't seem to be attached to Murph's body. Is there like just a little clear bit of plastic connecting them?
It's just clear plastic. Yeah. I mean, blue clear plastic.
Okay.
They blew Murph.
So, there was another thing that I wanted to talk about this scene, which was that, like, they sort of wrote Jankum to be like uncomfortable around sick people. And I was like, that's like such a like well-observed thing, like especially with kids, that like as a kid, you don't always really know how to act around someone who's like infirm in a way. And I like that it was just very like I know that the very term is racist, but it was very humanizing of Jankum to have like, you know, he's usually such a bombastic and silly guy, to just have like a little moment of squick in this scene.
It made me wonder about the specific relationship between Jankum Pog and Zero. In your mind, is Zero also a child? Or is Zero just an inexperienced life form that has not had a lot of reps with corporeal beings or otherwise? And that's what sort of infantilizes Zero in a way that makes them compatible socially with the other characters.
I mean, what constitutes a child, Adam? Is it just a number? Or is it a state of mind?
I mean, I think laws have something to say about that.
Okay.
Consult your local statutes, Ben.
Yeah, no. I wasn't asking for me. I was asking for my friend Jared, actually.
We need to score a lot of platinum fast.
Licensed businessman.
Well, it's a new ship. She's got the right name. She's got the right name. Now, you remember that, you hear?
We get a little hang between Gwyn and Majel, where Gwyn is like looking out over the wasteland and seeing it as emblematic of what they're trying to prevent happening to Solum.
I love how this moment isn't a cut the way it could be on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Majel being like, hey, taking it all in, huh? Boy, you must have a really hard time with planets that are dumps like this. I mean, it's like that moment in Naked Gun where Frank Drebin is doing the letter to Priscilla Presley, and he's like, when I'm at work, it's like every little thing reminds me of you. And he's like driving the patrol car past the two giant spherical power plant mounds on the beach. You remember that scene?
Yeah. Naked Gun's funny.
Yeah. But Magel's not like that. She's just trying to have a hang, but the hang gets interrupted by a real clatter from inside the bird of prey.
Yeah, it's kind of like haunted housey inside the ship now, right? Like there's something moving in here and it ain't us moment.
It's crazy how the interior of a bird of prey looks even better when the lights are out.
Yeah.
Like, again, we remember this from the third Star Trek movie. Like when it's emergency lighting in there,
it looks sick.
It is a mood.
Yeah. I loved this scene. Like it's a scene where there's like an unknown shadowy object scurrying around the room, and the camera gets low as people like lunge for it and stuff. And the action just looked great. Like
it really did.
The camera placement was always so fucking on point for a moment like this.
That moment where Gwyn dives across the frame and kind of like rolls and misses while the bowl goes away from camera. Like, that's great stuff.
Yeah.
You know, scenes like this are storyboarded like with so much detail.
Yeah.
And that's where the detail really matters. Like a live action scene like this, I think you could storyboard, but like once you get on set, you recognize the limitations and the limitations of what your actors can do, but also of like what the set does.
Yeah.
But like absent those limitations, I feel like storyboarding almost becomes harder because you can do anything.
Yeah. Like it almost made me wonder if they like picked like a scene in an Aliens movie where there's face huggers scurrying around a lab and like
great call.
Did a shot for shot homage to it, that because it was so perfect that it was like, it almost felt like it might be like in reference to something specific.
I like that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. It felt right.
Anyways, yeah, they catch the Tribble under a bowl. Dal flips this bowl over, and what is inside here is kind of a Tribble mogwai that hatched out of a petri dish that, you know, got disturbed when Rok-Tahk sneezed earlier. Everybody is like pretty charmed by this, but Rok absolutely hates this abomination.
I thought you liked cute animals.
I do! I just don't like my scientific mistakes.
I've never liked Rok-Tahk more than this moment. And I like that Rok-Tahk had this gear.
Yeah.
You know, there's something about...
Because you were just thinking like, God, another fucking action figure that I'm going to have to get, you know, in my collection.
You know how there's something about like effusively 1000% positive and happy people that just doesn't read as real?
Yeah.
There's something about Rok-Tahk that can sometimes be that way, like just a little bit cloyingly positive. I like that Rok-Tahk has this gear in her character also, like horror and disgust and disappointment in herself. Like, a big part of what happens from here in this episode is Rok-Tahk coming to terms with having made a mistake.
Yeah.
Because Rok-Tahk is an A student and a tryhard. Like, the expectations that Rok-Tahk has for herself are like something like this could never happen.
Yeah. A- is she's like a real Lisa Simpson when it comes to this stuff. And the shame of the mistake totally swamps her ability to connect with this little character's cuteness. They name it Tribble, and it's a special little guy.
Bricker Tribble hybrid. They just mushed those words together. Tricker wouldn't work as well, right?
No, yeah. That would just mush together in a way that wouldn't really reveal what you're talking about.
No, it wouldn't. No.
Yeah, so they spread out the dosed quadrotriticale that they have added this new version of the serum to.
If you're moving these bags around, God, why isn't Chaos Murph a wheelbarrow?
Chaos Murph isn't helping.
We should be doing more with Chaos Murph's body.
Why isn't Zero back in here in their new car form?
Right.
Helping haul sacks of grain.
If I wanted to buy a Chaos Murph, I should have to decide which of the 30 Chaos Murphs I want to buy.
Yeah. So, they spread it out. The big tribbles come down to eat this, and then, like, the bird of prey comes in over top of the tribble anthill, and Dal and Gwyn rappel down off of the platform to set up the pattern enhancement crayons around the this exotic matter so that they can beam up the bosonite.
How shocked were you at the restraint of this show? Not taking a ship down into a hole. Wow.
I couldn't believe that they didn't go down into this hole. I couldn't believe they didn't leave somebody down in this hole.
Oh, they did.
Well, yeah, later they did. Yeah, so Janeway beams up the bosonite, but the tribbles come home. They've like eaten the grain too quickly, and they knock over the crayons, and so now Dal and Gwyn can't get beamed up. The crayon was more vulnerable than Zero.
I thought it was so weird. We cut over to the bird of prey, and Chakotay is in command of it.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, everyone else, go save Dal and Gwyn.
Hey, kids.
If I'm the Klingon captain of this thing, I'm not fucking giving the big chair to Chakotay.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what? Here's my theory. I mean, we do cut like quickly ahead a couple of times in this episode, like when they meet Dr. Kruvang to when he's their friend and their universal translators work. I'm guessing we skipped over the scene where Chakotay carved a bathtub for this dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Clearly there's something between them.
Yeah. He would rather not, by the way, help Dal and Gwyn because that will jeopardize the experiment. But the gang goes in there to try to rescue their buddies, and now they are all in danger and being pursued by giant rolling tribbles. There's like a little scuffle because Dr. Kruvang wants to aim his phaser at a pile of bosonite, and it is revealed that this would be like a self-immolation, like if I'm going down, I'm taking you all with me kind of move.
I love it. I love this moment for that character.
Yeah.
I think it's in keeping with what we know about Klingons in a way that doesn't make them terrifying to a child, but that makes some sort of sick sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like, it's canonically accurate.
I mean, especially because like in the wider shot, you can see the bosonite glowing,
right?
As if to, in a video game context, tell you that it should explode if you shot it.
Right. So, Rok stops him from shooting this thing, and then it like turns into like a big scuffle with the whole gang, knocking him over.
I guess this is the one scene where Chaos Murph does something. He becomes a straitjacket.
Yeah.
That's useful.
And then Tribble turns out to be the one that saves the day by yelling, growling at the onslaught of tribbles, and they start to recede and go away and leave the team alone.
Turns out Rok-Tahk's little mistake saved everyone.
Yeah.
How about that?
I was just thinking, like, okay, they've been writing toward Murph having lines and dialogue, and they're going to need a cute character that can't speak because this is a kid's show.
Yeah.
It seems like they when one door closes, a window opens kind of a thing.
Everyone is happy in this moment, including Dr. Karuvong. But what he doesn't know at this point is that he will be left behind, like everyone else on this show. Because we cut from inside the bottom of the pit to the protostar underway.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was like, that Dr. Klingon is still down there.
Still singing his Klingon bop to himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're back on the ship now. Zero is using a walking stick.
I love that this is the great technology that Jenkum Pog could create in order to make Zero's life/body better.
He's a genius. He's a genius mechanic, Adam.
Zero unwraps the box, the cane-sized box. Zero's like, oh, thank you, I guess. Very thoughtful.
The retrovirus worked. Those tribbles are not going to be a problem anymore.
Yeah.
And the protostar drive is online, baby. So
how about that?
Does that mean next week we get Chakotay reuniting with Janeway?
Sure seems like that's what's going to happen because the tone of the episode. I mean, the Duns are about that, right? Like, set course for Voyager.
Yeah.
Hey, Chakotay, you're going to meet up with the actual Janeway again and not the hollow version.
Yeah.
Try not to be disappointed by what a human body can do versus a hollow body.
She might be a slightly more cold version of herself to you.
Yeah, this could be a Leah Brahms situation all over again.
Oh, boy.
Couldn't you see it? I sure could. But did you think this was a good episode, Ben?
She'll always bring it home.
I did, Adam. I thought it was a real fun one. Did not see the random Klingon scientist coming, but I liked him. Liked him a lot. And I don't know. I thought it was an interesting dilemma and like interesting like character moments for Rok-Tahk and Jenkum and stuff. Like we didn't talk about it, but there was also that moment where like Majel was sort of like musing, like, why did I listen to that Wesley guy when he said jump into the hole? Like, I don't know you guys. Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
And I love when a show like has a character do something that is a little bit against type and then like interrogate that in themselves. Like,
yeah.
Like, I feel like you can
That
get
was
away
thoughtful.
with it when a character does something that's out of character by then having that character be confused about why they did that thing.
And for the character being questioned to be a legacy and beloved character.
Mhm.
Like, Wesley is not infallible.
Yeah.
Wesley's kind of getting capped on this very show.
Yeah. There's that Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi, that like, there's like a kind of Star Wars dork that hates that movie because Luke isn't perfect as an older man. Like he had gotten kind of calcified and negative and like hadn't become the best version of himself in his old age. And I feel like that was what I liked about that movie. Like that was such an interesting interrogation of like the mythos of Star Wars.
What if Luke were grizzled?
Yeah. And like, I think that's kind of what this show is doing with the Wesley character a little bit. Like he grew up in like in many ways that are good, but in other ways that are like not so good, and
Yeah.
that's very human, you know.
Yeah.
So, I liked the episode a lot. How about you?
Ben, this episode frustrated the hell out of me. And the reason why is we are told that the tribbles bite. We are shown that they bite. We see the inside of them, their bone structure.
Yeah.
And so forth.
Their teeth, even.
And yet the danger of them seems to be in their weight and their like kinetic energy.
Yeah.
How does a tribble kill? I kept thinking about this because like we get a number of scenes where like, we're surrounded by tribbles.
Yeah.
And the question on my mind at that point is, okay, but what are they going to do once they have you surrounded?
Yeah.
Are they just going to bash into you and use their kinetic energy to kill you? Or are they going to roll over onto you in such a way that their mouth is perfectly in line with the body? Like, how much thinking is a tribble doing about their roll in order to make sure that its beak is on the thing they're trying to hunt?
I didn't get bloodthirsty from these tribbles. Like, I don't think that they're going to bite you. I guess the rock that they bit Rock at first, maybe they are gonna bite you.
You know what? I think you gave me an epiphany on this.
Okay.
I think they crush you to death, and then they feed on your body like what are those? Like a condor,
like
or
a carry-on
something.
bird.
Yeah, exactly. Like they roll over onto you with their beak down.
Yeah.
Beak down is how they have to get you.
Beak down.
Because how often are they going to roll over a person with the beak in the optimal position? Very rarely, I think.
Very rarely, but like every time they roll over you, they're getting like entrails and stuff matted into their fur. How do they clean themselves?
Does a tribble ever get shit stuck to their fur? Hey, there's a working title for a future episode.
Yeah, we're going to have to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. But first, let's get to the bottom of some Priority 1 messages, Ben.
Let's do it.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Check it out. We got a Priority 1 message here from Guy English.
Love that guy.
And it's to the Friends of DeSoto and adjacent beings. Here's that message. Hello from Canada. It has occurred to me that with enough money and focus, one can just simply buy a recurring segment on your show. Famously, both James Doohan and William Shatner are Canadian. Besides them, who is your favorite Canadian actor on Star Trek?
Wow.
Well, the thing is, Guy, I don't really see nationality in that way when I watch Star Trek, so it's really challenging me.
This is more of like a podcast of the world, you know? Like, we're citizens of the world, and like, national borders are just legal fictions to us.
I have just Googled Canadian actors on Star Trek, and boy, oh boy, is there a list. Some ones that jump out to me: Crystal Allen, Patrick Kwok-Toon from Discovery, Emily Coots. I guess it shouldn't surprise that many new Star Trek actors are listed as Canadian here, given so much of the production is done there.
Sure.
Rekha Sharma, Bruce Horak.
Bruce Horak was great. Who's the guy that played a Klingon in season 1 of Disco, and then like a wheelchair mad scientist in another season?
I think you're talking about Kenneth Mitchell.
Yeah. Is he Canadian?
He is on the list.
Yeah, I like that guy.
I mean, the answer to a question like this, like the bullshit answer that I would give if I were pressed on this in person, would be something like, oh, it's so hard to choose.
Yeah.
There are so many. They are so great.
Yeah.
Mia Kirshner. That's my pick. Mia Kirshner.
Okay. I'm going to go Barbara March, who played Lursa of the Duras sisters.
How about that?
Barbara March.
Barbara March. Barbara March.
Barbara March.
Barbara March.
And also, like, she has Klingon loaf in her IMDb picture, which makes her my hero.
I like that. Leaning into it. Thanks for the prompt, Guy.
Yeah, great prompt. Our next P1 here is from Ariel and Charlie, and it's to Brandon. It goes like this. Happy 36th birthday, Brandon. You are a wonderful husband, father, and Star Trek nerd. Here's to a year full of epic adventures. We love you so much. Insert hilarious clip/drop from show. Wow.
Oh, if you're just going to leave it up to Wynde, this is what she's going to play.
I'm coming, Chakotay.
Sounds great.
Holy shit, I can't believe she played that.
I kind of can. She's got tastes.
Wow, happy birthday, Brandon. 36.
Ariel knows a great way to celebrate a person's birthday. You don't have to be 36 to do it with a priority one message. You just go to MaximumFun.org/Jumbotron.
Got an idea for a segment that you want to be the only producer of? You can buy your way into that, as Guy English has.
Yeah, you can do that there too. Pretty great.
Well, Adam, it's just about time to go, but got a couple more segments, most important of which, gosh, how do I put this? It's about your Barnus Franks.
My Barnus Franks.
Barnus Franks.
Barnus Franks.
Barnus Franks. Barnus Franks. Do you have one?
Yeah, Dr. Kuruvang is going to be mine. I love... Did they mean this for comedy or not? The whole, like, leave the planet or die! And then smash cut to, anyway, I'm here doing experiments on tribbles. And I'm going to take you to my secret lab.
Yeah.
Did they get the translation wrong? Is that the joke?
Oh, fuck. I didn't even consider that. Because it's Gwyn that says what he was saying.
Yeah, maybe she just biffs it on the translation.
Man, like Rok-Tahk's so preoccupied with making a mistake. It was Gwyn that really screwed up. Maybe.
Yeah. How about you, Ben?
Oh, yeah. It's obviously that guy. Dr. Karungbin or whatever.
Yeah. You got it. You got it, Ben.
This has been a ton of fun, Adam. We need to hit the people with a warning before we go. A warning that this is what it could be like if you post about the show online or leave a nice review. You might hear us say the things that you said out loud. And that's a risk you're going to have to run if you want to get on the Warning Boys segment.
That's right.
Prepare a buoy and launch it when ready.
Warning, boys.
An emergency buoy. A warning buoy.
Here's a 5-star review of our classic Star Trek podcast, Ben, Greatest Generation. 5-star review left on Apple Podcast. Headline, The Boy, His Eyes Uncovered. As a lover of all things Trek, this show brings me absolute guilt-free joy. Ben and Adam talk about my favorite chunk of media in totally unpretentious and hilarious ways. One of the rare podcasts that gets better with a second listen. Inside jokes galore. Non-toxic, genuinely insightful, funny, and uplifting. Warning, boy! Fired. This is from username Sawarmak.
Thank you, Sawarmak.
And it's a great review for Greatest Generation. But let me tell you something. Both of our shows realize the benefit of a 5-star review.
Yeah.
And they help what we do here in a great and algorithmic way.
Yeah, we're pretty glad that this is the only algorithm we really need to chase in our weird little section of the internet. But it would really help if you left a nice review for this show on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, so thanks to Sawarmak and everyone else who's done a warning, boy, and all who will in the future, because we want to read them.
Indeed.
On this segment of the show.
With that, we're going to throw the keys to Wynde for the rest of the episode. She'll tell you what's coming up next week, etc., etc. Take it away, Wynde.
Greatest Trek is an Uxbridge Shimoda podcast on the Maximum Fun Network. It's hosted by Ben Harrison and Adam Pranica, and it's produced and edited by Wynde Priddy. Ben and Adam will be back next week with a review of Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Episode 14. It's called Cracked Mirror. The Protostars reunion with Voyager has unexpected side effects, bouncing the crew between alternate realities, including the Mirror Universe. Big thanks to all the members who are making a small monthly contribution to pitch in on the crowdfunding of this show. Members get new bonus episodes every month, as well as access to the entire back catalog of bonus content. It is quick and easy to set it up at MaximumFun.org/join, and we really appreciate your support. Thanks to Nick Dittmore, who created the show art, and Adam Ragusia, who composed our theme music. Thanks to Rob Adler and Bill Tilley for all their work on the @GreatestTrek social media pages. Find those accounts and give them a follow. And be sure to use the hashtag #GreatestTrek when you post about the show. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week on Greatest Trek.
Maximum Fun, a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.